As you make your way through the terrain, your herbalist spots your herbalist those with knowledge of the animal world in your After a tough fight, you finally clear the area of those nasty spiders. Within their lair, you discover some more herbs as well as bodies of fallen men and women who were clearly not as lucky. You are set upon by a small group of rugged-looking dwarves. Their faces are scarred, as if they cut off their beards with their axes, which they probably did. Their clothes are worn and their eyes hungry. Only their weapons remain in perfect condition, the last remnant of their bygone heritage. One steps up and spits before speaking.
Money, or we'll kick your teeth in now.
The lead dwarf spits and grunts at you.
Less talking, more doing, my hammy friends. I got little patience for talk.
Your men stand firm, showing off their strength and confidence. The dwarf leader listens to you, then speaks.
Today you shall eat well and sit with us by the fire, so that all of us may see tomorrow.
The dwarves look relieved at their leader's words. You share a meal by the fire and exchange stories of woe and victory. One of the bandits stands up and speaks.
So be it. We shared bread, we spoke by the fire. We leave as friends. May we meet again.
The dwarves leave. You come across a hidden stash, and it looks like whatever it... You have your loot safe in hand, but you can hear something approach. You stand your ground. Turns out these were simply some boars defending. passes by your village, stopping only for a drink and a chat if you're willing. You share a drink and some stories. As thanks, the dwarf tells you of an old mine he knows. He marks the location on your map. He marks a route for a gold mine. You follow the instructions on the letter, and you discover an old cave that stands hidden from the path. From the tracks, you see that it is clearly not unoccupied. This cave is home to some grisly-looking bears. You cannot be sure if the chest still lies within the cave, but the place itself is definitely the one described in the letter. Guess the rats didn't stick around for 3 decades. You killed the bears, and the cave lies open for your exploration. Within its darkened walls, you discover a pile of stones laid neatly in the center, just like Miss Livold said. And underneath, you find a huge, heavy oaken chest, securely locked. You open the chest and discover various samples of wood inside, as well as some precious stones. At the bottom, you also discover a set of pristine armor. Before you is a group of black wolves attacking something. As you look closer, you realize there are 2 packs, one attacking a small baby and one fighting not far with something else. You see that the child is clearly protected by some magic, as the wolves seem unable to get to it. However, you're not certain how long this shield will last. You also see that the other group is fighting with a single black cat that is putting up a good fight, but clearly losing its strength now. You remember that this could be a Dola, a demon of fate that can be protective towards its benefactors, or take on the role of a guardian spirit, most often a cat. You send a small group to protect the child and the rest to help the cat. You won. It was not easy, but both cat and child are fine. The cat's eyes shine gold, and you could swear it smiles at you. You feel a surge of positive energy. You stumble across some. You open. You search the buildings and discover a supplies store. You chase down the rogue Bouquet and find him in the company of some winged women, most likely the wind demonettes, Vili, and several pine conettes of various shapes and sizes, including pine cones, mushrooms, chestnuts, or walking twigs with human-like faces. This strange menagerie is carrying with it some potted plants and young tree saplings. They also have a large wicker basket with a dark red tinge to it and a metallic smell. The Bouquet, in the form of an older bearded man with twigs for hair and tree bark for skin, speaks up.
What do you want from us, fleshy creature? Ah, the old stump, sending fleshy minions after us. Ah, as if you could slay us. We are demons of the forest, and now even stronger, unbound, free. You think you can stand in our way?
You have defeated the Bouquet and his minions. You find their bodies disintegrate into various types. Among the rubble, you find one lone pine cornet looking up at you.
I don't know if you noticed, but I hid all the way through and I didn't fight you. I've been stuck with these madmen for years. Please take me with you.
A pine cornet steps up in front of you and takes on the form of a toddler-sized humanoid with a pine cone hat, a coat made of oak leaves, and a body that looks wooden.
Yay, thank you.
The whole land is shaken with tremors. The tremors and... You arrive at a tall, stone-built tower. An arched doorway stands ajar, and an old man waves at you to come in. You walk into the lower floors of the tower. The room is dark and dingy. The walls are filled with bookshelves, barely holding under the weight of the thousands of works that you think must be housed here. There is a desk and some chairs, and the old man sits behind it.
Come in, come in. Sit and let us talk. I am Professor Anthony Hufka, formerly of the Grand University. These days, well, on research leave, I suppose. Ah, the Elven Scroll. Have you found the Guardian yet? He went to that Grove place, but I've never been able to find out what happened to him. His pesky student ran off with the scroll before I could write down the directions. And I don't like leaving this tower anyway. Right. Well, he is a wise one. I will grant him that. But his version of history is... history is written by the victors, yes? The elves have been the victors for many thousands of years, and thus they do write our history. I, however, believe it is time we wrote our own. Well, the elves will tell you that the cosmic tree is one of the pillars of the world. I won't go into it. They know it better. They are correct on that, but sometimes pillars must fall in order to build a new house, you know. Right. I am an old man, too old for human existence. I forget myself. So it was us, humans, that burned that damned tree. Yes, we at the Grand University. We had a multinational conference and we came to a conclusion. Magic is stifling humanity. Listen to me. Magic and its prime stewards, the elves, they are keeping us from truly evolving, from reaching our own potential. We can finally be free from superstition, from dark magic, from monsters. We will build a civilization based on reason and knowledge. And yes, this will be costly. Magic will take with it many creatures, not all bad, but humanity will finally be free. Oh, that one. I suppose there is no reasoning with Veles' kin. After all, he is part elven himself. I suppose it is back to the Dark Ages and the whip of the elder people upon our backs. Now go, leave me be.
You find yourself standing in an empty field. No tower, no man, nothing.
You are ambushed.
A group of thugs stands in your way, bearing weapons and vile grins on their unshaven faces. They look determined and unafraid. From their confident stance and sideways glances, you suspect they may have friends hiding nearby. One of them steps forwards and speaks.
Your goods or your lives. We need some metals and a weapon or two. We're not too greedy. We can do this the easy way, or, well, you know the rest. We're just fine with either.
There are those among you who know how to talk to people, but you can see it isn't going to be an easy challenge. Nevertheless, your best people enter into a hot debate with the would-be attackers. You spoke of the fall of mankind, you spoke of the camaraderie of fellow beings, of the rebirth of Thea and of common goals. The bandits were not convinced, so you spoke of sickly children, of the old Granny Helena who is on her last legs, and of the unfortunate young Henrik who fell prey to a Liho's trick. Despite themselves, the ruffians seem moved by your plea. They not only leave you be, but also leave some supplies for poor Granny Helena. The night was restless, filled with uneasy dreams and strange sounds. As the sun finally rose, you began your day's chores. Without water, your people will not survive long, not while they are ailing. But you also need to clean your well to You are ambushed. A group of thugs stands in your way, bearing weapons. There are those among you who... You spoke of the fall of mankind, you spoke of the camaraderie of fellow beings, of the rebirth. You stumble, you open, you search the buildings and discover a supplies store still intact. You see fresh boar tracks. It looks like a large pack. You come across the... You have defeated the boar pack. You stumble across some... You search the buildings and discover a supplies store still...